Good morning. Happy Easter. Happy Sunday. Welcome to your early morning intuitive guidance. About 5 minutes later than usual, which is good since I hit the snooze alarm for an extra 20 minutes, which is one of those mornings. So, welcome. Glad you are here for early morning intuitive guidance. And it was interesting today picking a card. The deck was pretty obvious. Good morning, Carolyn. Welcome. Happy Easter. The deck was pretty obvious. But the card, as I was shuffling, there was one I thought, oh, I bet that's going to be it. And I was excited about that one. It wasn't it. And the one we did get, I'm not excited about. But there's reasons why. And when I read the card, you'll go, oh, yeah, that makes sense why that one wouldn't be as enticing as the previous one. I don't remember what the previous one was, but whatever. So today we have Earth Magic by Stephen D. Farmer. Let's see, what do I want to say about that? Just that there's a cool image on the front. I'll take the box, it'll be easier to see it, of Mother Earth and all of her creatures, or a good representation of her creatures. So, and again, these are the cards that have the kind of an Art Deco-y look. Let me see if I can get one of them out of there. Tree, the as above, so below. Good morning, Rebecca. Happy Easter. Glad you are here. So, I just love that image on the back of the cards. So, but our card for today is actually, and there would be times I'd be really excited about this card, but I was, good morning, Cindy. Welcome. Happy Easter. I was more excited about this card, or the other card, because it had a real positive pitch to it. This one is getting us to mine the depths again. So here it is, iceberg, submerged. And I often talk about our subconscious mind as being the submerged part of the iceberg, our conscious mind being that little bitty part that sticks up on the top. So, a couple of nice deep breaths. In through the nose, out through the mouth. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Thank you for the bunny, Rebecca. Just breathing deeply and easily, letting yourself settle into right here, right now. Again, our card is iceberg, submerged. So let's see what it has to say. Up to 90% of an iceberg's body is below the surface, deeply submerged in the bosom of Grandmother Ocean. Yet Grandmother allows considerable freedom for her enormous children, permitting them to move about as dictated by the currents and their own momentum. Having broken off from a glacier or ice shelf, they float along the sea, much to the detriment of vessels that attempt to traverse their passageways. Most of us have heard stories of ill-fated ships that have had tragic encounters with these ice mountains. Although the topmost portion of an iceberg can easily be seen, there is still a massive amount of its body below the water that may be difficult to detect. Good morning, Cheryl. Happy Easter. Welcome. And that which remains unseen can fool us and perhaps even be dangerous and damaging. So, here's the part where it's applying that to our lives. Whatever you suppress or deny and attempt to keep out of conscious awareness will show up somewhere and somehow. These are your shadow aspects. At one time, you put them out of your consciousness for good reason, yet they remain contained by shame and guilt. Sometimes these submerged aspects of yourself are projected onto others so that they mirror those denied and suppressed parts of you. And you may even harshly judge these characteristics when they are displayed. Now is the time to allow these elements to surface and embrace them. These may make up some sort of self-expression, a secret dream you wish to accomplish, or even uglier aspects that are difficult to acknowledge or accept. But again, we are human. We are a mixed bag. We've got the good, the bad, and the ugly, right? Whatever you have submerged deep inside you, this is your opportunity to pay attention to those things and welcome them to the family called you. And Easter, if you're going to spend it with family, can be an opportunity for some of that stuff to get poked, stirred, brought to the surface. So, that part where it talks about us projecting it onto others, mirroring those denied, suppressed aspects of ourselves. That is actually a really good way to figure out what's down there. When you see something in someone else that irritates you, take a look at yourself. Good morning, Lucy. Welcome, welcome. Glad you are here. Happy Easter. Take a look at yourself. How is this reflected in me? Be that curious observer, the one who is constantly looking for things that are interesting. So let's say someone else is kind of a loud, chatty, boisterous, know-it-all kind of a person. And you look at that and you go, ooh, don't like her. She's just too, loud, boisterous, annoying, chatty, know-it-all. Take a look at you. Where in you have you suppressed that? Were you told as a little kid, quiet down, be quiet, you're so noisy, blah, blah, blah. Or there she is, Miss Know-It-All. Good morning, Diane. Glad you are here. Happy Easter. These things are probably a reflection of you. If it annoys you in someone else, take a look at how it might be repressed in you. And what we repress sticks around and pops up in unusual ways, probably sometimes in ways we aren't even aware of. I was talking to someone yesterday and there was something getting projected onto me and I'm like, that ain't mine. I know that's not mine. That's your stuff and it's headed this way. So just allowing that to be. It was not a place. Yep, Dad calling you motormouth. Yes, yes. I remember one of my daughter's friends was one of those people, and a friend of mine looked at her and said, "Where is the off switch?" But she was very chatty. So again, then taking a look at that thing, whatever that thing is, it probably has a good face to it also. So being chatty, know-it-all, blah, 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 motormouth, all that stuff, probably indicates intelligence for one thing. Intelligence and a willingness to know things and to lead and to what. There's the good side of that. There's the positive frame of that. Bring that back online. Bring that back online. And can we bring back into our you family the negative aspects of that? Certainly. But then we're adults now, right? We can be aware. Okay, am I monopolizing the conversation? Do I need to give someone else the floor for a while? We can monitor that stuff. It doesn't have to mean it's terrible, horrible, awful about us. It can just mean it's something we need to be attentive to. So let's say that we find ourselves judging someone else for being judgmental. Don't you love how that works? Again, take that look at yourself. Where am I sitting in judgment? Well, geez, I'm just sitting in judgment right now of that person being in judgment. So where do I judge? How do I judge? Who do I judge? Oftentimes what you find most is I judge myself most harshly. Then you can bring online some compassion. I'm going to get off my own back for a while. I'm going to be kind to me, right? If we were half as kind to ourselves as we were to other people, life would be great. Life would be great. So taking the time to discern, to look at what's submerged down there with that iceberg. What is that monolithic chunk that's below the surface? When I do Psych K energy work with people, that's what we're doing, is we're mining that subconscious, the part of your consciousness that's below your level of awareness. We want to know what's down there, because if you're working with only the conscious mind, estimated to be 5% of your total consciousness, and that's what you have to throw at whatever the issue is, that's not a whole lot of oomph. When you tap the subconscious mind and you clear stuff up there, you have a whole lot more energy to put toward whatever it is you're wanting to correct. So I was working yesterday with my peers in a group that we formed. We call ourselves Goal Crushers. And it's 3 younger people and me, and we were in a small breakout group on one of the Tony Robbins calls, And we liked each other so well, we decided to continue. So yesterday we were looking at that stuff that gets in our way, that like social anxiety or procrastination or the I'm not good enough stuff. All of that stuff, we tackled it and did some energy work with it to release ourselves from it, so it's much easier to move forward. If you have all those anchors hooked on the back of you and you're trying to move forward, it's really hard to move forward, especially if they're kind of elastic. You get forward and you snap back, and you get forward and you snap back. To start removing those, you can move much easier, and you can keep your gains instead of bouncing back into the old stuck place. Yes, unconscious and subconscious are the same thing. It's anything you're not aware of, which is a huge amount of stuff typically. But if you think about the iceberg, where's my little picture here? When the water is sloshing around it, at the water level, sometimes you have these brief glimpses of awareness of the subconscious stuff that's right at the water level, right at your level of awareness. Sometimes you can see it, sometimes you can't. Sometimes you can tell you're being judgmental. Other times that's not in your awareness. But the stuff that's way at the bottom of the iceberg never sees the light of day unless we go diving to look for it and to address it. Sometimes icebergs will roll over. Have you heard of that? If you look them up online, it's really interesting. They are all dark and minerally and whatever on the underside, but then it's all exposed to the light, isn't it? And because it's darker, if the sun's shining, that stuff's going to start to melt. So think about that. How do we turn over our iceberg so that we can actually see some of the stuff that's there and do something with it and make ourselves more complete, more of a whole person? When we bring those prodigal aspects of us back in, welcome them in, love them, then we become more and more a whole person, more our true self. Because again, as human beings, we are not humanly perfect. We're divinely perfect, but we are not humanly perfect. We all have these belches, wheezes, and coughs that are the human being, all right? And if we can be kinder about those to ourselves and love those, we work real hard to love that in others, right? When we see one of their foibles, we work toward accepting that. That's just, she's a little more nervous than other people, or he's a little more bossy than other people, or whatever it is. We work to allow and accept who someone is. Sometimes we may fight over that, but sometimes we're just like, okay, that's just how she is, and we try to cut her some slack on that, okay? We need to be cutting ourselves some slack on that. So that's our thing for today. Taking a look at, a kind and loving look at, what are the aspects of me that I've shoved away, that I've banished, that I've relegated to the closet, that I've stuffed down in the base of the iceberg? What can I bring back online? And maybe I can even turn that into something that's useful. So let's say it's what's the word? Let me think of it. Ambitious. If someone is, she's so ambitious, and usually that gets leveled at women, not at men. If you have ambition, but you've shoved it away because it wasn't acceptable, bring that back online. Bring that back online. And you can do so in ways that feel in alignment with who you are. Be ambitious. If that's who you really are, bring that back online. All right? So that's our mission for today. Not only taking a look at what are the aspects of ourselves that we've shoved away, but how do I bring them back online in kind, loving ways that serve me and serve others? All right? So yes, have an awesome Easter, you too, Lucy. All of you, awesome Easter. Have a beautiful day. Take some time to just be. Maybe go for a walk. If it's going to be a lovely day, maybe take some time to go for a walk and just enjoy being. See you again tomorrow. Remember, you're capable of far more than you think you are.